We are live, man. Let me
All
make
right.
sure. Let me make sure. Let me see something. Yep. I think we're good now. I think we're good. I think we're live on.
Okay.
I think we're live on everything. So let's see.
Let's
Um,
see.
Let me make sure my Instagram is good.
Yeah,
Let
then.
me close all these things.
Let's see. Waiting.
All right. All right. So let's see. Let me make sure.
Yeah, because I was checking the YouTube. I don't know if I may have to just go back out or come back in or something. 'Cause I don't see you. Oh yeah, there we go. There it is. Yep, you just popped up. You
Okay.
just popped.
Good. See.
Yep.
Hey, what's up, Instagram? How y'all doing? I can't see. My Instagram stuff is not coming up on StreamYard. Don't go to so if you go to I think YouTube. Let me just talk. I'm talking to the guys on Instagram. If you go to YouTube,
Mhm.
because I can't see the comments. I don't know how to see the comments on Instagram. I don't know how
Oh,
it works.
now if you can't pull it up here, you may have to pull it up on another device.
Let me see. You know what? Yeah, actually, I'm good now. I just split the screen. I just split the screen, so I think I'm good. What's up, Nez? How you doing? How y'all
Okay.
doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Hey,
Yeah.
Jamisha and Miss Sapphire, why not? How you doing? And listen, I'm glad that you all are here. I'm glad that you all are here. Listen, we're about to have some conversation. The mind, I call this the mind of a man. I have this handsome young man here who has a gray beard, so you can tell that he is seasoned. He is seasoned. He's been here for a while. So hey, Shauna.
Hey, how
So
y'all doing, everybody?
yep. His name is Devontre. I wanted to have him on just to give you guys something different, a little addition to certain things. Hey, Amanda. Thank you guys for coming. I want to speak on some basic things when it comes to dating, women relationships, and how a man who is successful, who is a straight up man, thinks when it comes to certain questions that you ask. Now I know. Let me make sure. Can you all hear me first? Hey, Hachiko, how are you doing?
Hey, everybody, how y'all doing out there?
Let me make sure y'all can hear me. Oh, hear us. Can you all hear us? No, Hachiko. I'm not live on TikTok. I'm live on Facebook, I believe, and um,
YouTube right now.
YouTube. Yep, and IG. Those ones I'm live on. So if I can't see my IG comments on my StreamYard. So I don't know how that works. All right. So I can't really see your comments on StreamYard.
Okay.
So like I said, we're about to speak for about an hour. I know we got things to do. Um, Welcome, Mr. Devandre, to this platform. It's my first time doing something like this, so I hope you guys
Uh,
enjoy it.
Appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, man, definitely. I appreciate you for coming because I
No,
think they hear me think. I mean, they hear me speak all the time. So I'm not gonna speak. I'm gonna ask questions, and you don't know what I'm gonna ask because I haven't because you telling me,
yeah,
yeah, you said it. Listen, I don't need to know. You know,
I don't, and no, I don't. I don't. I know you. I trust you. Whichever way you wanna take it, we take it there.
appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Hey, Wynette, how you doing? So I thank you guys for coming. I thank you guys for showing up. Um, so, Ed, let me ask you first, man. Tell them a little bit about yourself, man. Like, what do you do?
Okay.
Where you from and stuff like that. Your background.
All right. I'm Devontre. I am a Navy vet. Reside in Ohio. I am a multimedia web design artist, specializing in graphic design. Also a spoken word artist and amateur. I could say amateur, but a little better like amateur photographer as well. Uh, me current let's see currently being on the on the side, I do my graphic design, but right now I'm a auto technician. So doing the fixing the cars, changing the stuff out. That's what the regular 9 to 5 is. But then my passion is my artwork and my let's see my graphic design. This month I'm premiering my debut digital my ebook, my poetry, which is uh, the Ebb Epic, a prelude to a gentle breeze, which will have 25 of my original works that have never been heard before. And that is going to be a precursor to my physical book that I'm coming out, which is I'm considering an art piece. It's going to have my not only my spoken word, my poetry, but yeah, spoken word poetry, but it's also going to have my my photography, my graphic design side in the middle of it. So it's going to be a very eclectic book, but it's going to showcase me and all my all the different aspects.
Okay. Okay. Well, can we hear a little bit about you? I mean, just a little bit of,
Got it.
one
Okay.
of your couple lines, just a short one,
All
time
right. Yeah.
about 30
Yeah.
seconds.
All right. All right. Let me see. 30 seconds. Nice piece.
Okay.
Let's see. We'll do. Let's do. We'll,
Hey everyone, welcome and thank you for coming by. Hey Lady Leo, hey Carmen, hey Red Robin, how you doing? Nez and Wynette, Eddie, Miss Sapphire.
all right. Let's do the short one. This one right here. 4 leaf clover.
Okay.
Red rover. Red rover. No, red clover. Red clover. There's a blood stain on my clover that hopes and dreams couldn't wash away. As my plot lays beside it, I have invited death to carry me away. As luck would have it, death was busy with life and told me not to gripe, and that I might use my time wisely. Instead of sitting in waste, I should make living my haste and taste the joy of progression. So I walked my stairway to heaven, cherishing each step, tears of joys I wept, even when I had to take a step back. I kept my stride true. With my head held high, I'm fixated on the gate in the sky. As I get closer, death passes me by, waving goodbye. In time's pageant, as luck would have it, life hands me a green clover.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Well, what do we do this one right here, right? We do this one here, right?
Yeah, so the snaps. There we go. Yeah.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. And where would they be able to find your stuff though?
You can find my stuff on IG, which is D underscore VON underscore TRE. And then you can also find me on TikTok, which is Devontre spelled here DVANTRE 3.0.
Okay. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Now let's get into it, man.
All
Let's get
right.
into it. All right. So looking at you, I know that that's many people first time seeing you, looking at you, and as they can see, you're a good looking guy. As they can say, as they say, no homo, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, you're a good looking
Yeah.
guy. Are you um are you currently single or are you in a relationship?
No, I'm currently single.
Currently single. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Why do you think so much of us are single these days, man?
Because for me, it's a choice. Being single is a choice because when I was younger, I didn't really choose to be in a relationship. It was always by circumstance.
Hmm.
So it was a me being in a relationship was reactionary, uh, and being that it was not really up to me in a sense, even though I had control over it,
Hmm.
I decided to step back and like, you know what, let me take a relationship seriously and find myself and center myself and be like, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to actually be the completeness that I am before I can actually give myself to somebody else. Because if I'm not ready, then why actually force somebody to be ready and deal with a an incomplete being to
Mm.
say.
So I see a lot of people saying black men these days just want to be single. They don't want to be in relationships. They don't want to be married. They don't want to, they don't want to, take women seriously. What do you think about that? Because I see that a lot. I hear that a lot, especially on social media.
I I believe that they're just trying to instigate the stereotype. Man, I believe like black men actually want to be in relationships more than is actually portrayed in the media. It's just that, like everything else, we we have to consider who we choosing, like anything else, instead of just saying we just want to be in a relationship with anybody. There's a lot more factors that go into being in a relationship than just they look pretty or you like a couple things. It's you got to know if you're compatible on all type of levels. Like is your
But
community?
before you get into that, how old are you?
I'm 46.
46. So as a 46-year-old man, you said you were saying that it's a lot more to get, when you're in a relationship, it's a lot more to get. What do you look for when it comes to a relationship? Like a 46-year-old man, what are you looking for?
See me, I'm looking for not just, of course there's going to be physical, I mean, because I have to be physically attracted to you first before anything else, because mine is what everybody else may trying to like, oh, it's what's in their heart, but you not going to figure out what's in their heart until you actually are attracted to them. You have to have some type of physical attraction to the person to want to get to know the person, because if not, you're not going to approach them. But
Okay.
you, besides the physicality, it's where is your where's your headspace at? Are you are you intelligent? Are you susceptible to outward influences? Are you a forward thinker? Are you stagnant in your position in life right now? Do you have goals? Do you want to set goals? Is there something else that you want to do? And then what are your views on like family, religion, spirituality, and on kids, on different levels of things? Because I need to know that even if you're lacking in certain areas, that it's not so far gone that it's not compatible with me. Because
Okay.
the way I operate, if if and when I choose to actually settle down, I need my everything. I need my co-partner. I need my co-conspirator at the same point, because I need to. I mean, even though we use it a lot, the ride or die. I need the ride or die woman,
Okay.
because I need the one that actually would tell me I'm full of it, but then also would have my back and encourage me when I'm on the right path, not just not just nagging at you at every turn and saying, oh, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, and instead of actually trying to offer you some constructive criticism on, okay, maybe did you think about it this way, did you think about it that way, and then on without a with that being said, then there has to be the sexual compatibility too, because you can be the most kind-hearted, brilliant person, and y'all can
Yeah.
mash up so well in every other category, but then y'all not sexually compatible. Because
And
as much
how big of a deal do you think that is?
it's a it's it can be a deal breaker,
Mm.
but it also is it's also like how vanilla are you? That's the thing. Is like how really vanilla are you? Because I don't want a vanilla wafer. I don't want I don't I don't want that. I'm just speaking on me. What I'm you got to be a little bit adventurous. You have to be.
Yeah.
You got to be a little bit adventurous. I mean, some of them like the Martha Brady's and just want to go confine it to the bedroom, but then eventually, like anything else, is going to get old.
So you don't think like they say men our age, like your age, 46 years old, 50 years old, they said that we don't get it up anymore, man. Is that true? Like they say men our age are sick, and we know you know we going bald, and we have high blood pressure, we got ED. Hey, by the way, please feel somebody said that we twinning.
Mm.
Please feel free to if you have questions, post them in the chat. All right, so yeah, post them in the chat if you have questions, so that he can answer the
Yeah,
questions.
yeah,
But
because
they said that men our age are sick, and we 46 years old, we don't our stuff don't work anymore.
see, but that's you can say that about anything. You can say that literally about anybody. It all depends on your lifestyle and your habits. Your habits very much dictate uh your functionality, but then it also depends on your stressors, your
Mm,
stressors as well, because if you're stressed out and you hold everything in, then you're not going to work properly then too, because
that is true.
you're overthinking stuff, and then your arousal level is not there
Yeah.
because you're stressed out, you're not relaxed, and if you're not relaxed, nothing's gonna happen.
Mm,
So it depends. It has a combination of yeah, just health and health, wealth, and your mental status. And then what is it, Juanita? She said, but what if the person is willing to work on the sexual part if you aren't compatible? Now that's actually very good, because if you are willing to work on it and you're open minded to something, then everything can fall into place, because you don't have to be perfect at one thing, but you have to be open minded to your partner and set your healthy boundaries, because there's certain boundaries that you are allowed to have, and says no, I don't want to do this or I don't want to do that. But that's with everything. You're supposed to set healthy boundaries, and your partner is supposed to respect that.
mm. Um, so as a man who is single, what are you waiting on? What are you waiting for? Right? What do you think men are waiting for before we get someone? Because I know women are drawn to you. You know, you're a good-looking
Hmm.
guy, right?
Hmm.
So why is it that what is it that you're not getting?
Actually, it has nothing to do with what I'm not
Hmm.
getting or what I'm not receiving. It is everything to do with the position I'm in life right now. I have
Okay.
personal goals that I'm going to reach, and I have to correct certain situations, and when I get that done, then I can actually concentrate on that, because I have to be focused in this area to achieve what I want to achieve before I actually can delve deeper into a relationship, because a relationship is time consuming. I mean, there's
Mm,
nothing wrong with that, but then you have to invest your energy into that. And if me personally, I'm not at a point where I can invest my energy into it, then it is unfair for the woman or
okay.
women that I actually talk to that actually want to entertain that. That's why
Understood.
I like to keep everything upfront and honest with it. It says, "Oh, I'm not here. I'm not saying that I won't be here. I'm just focused on certain goals right now. And once I achieve my goals, then I can actually entertain uh, whoever. But again, I'm not going to be delusional in the fact that, like, oh, you got to wait for me. Like, yeah,
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 yeah.
I'm gonna keep you on the sideline. Nah, there's no stringing along. If Mr. Right comes on there and you feel that that's do you.
But let me ask you. I heard a quote that says a man will a man who is not ready would become ready for the one when he meets the one that he wants. How true do you think that is?
Now, now that's always true to this thing. Like I said, he will get, yeah, but the same thing. We'll take it to the same thing what I just said. A man, he will get ready, right?
Hmm.
Now, what happens when he has to get ready? He has to focus on what he needs to do to get to the woman he wants to be. So a man that wants to get ready, he's not going to actually pursue the woman at the time. He's going to pursue the goals that he has to actually go get her. So if he has to go get that better job, that means he has to get to that position. That means he has to put in the hours. He got to do that work. He has to make himself known to the people that can actually advance him. That's time and energy. So he has to focus on that. Oh, he wants to be over in this area or this neighborhood. He has to get himself out the current neighborhood he is in and get over there. So that's just not a pick up and go thing. He has to go find whatever spot he wants to, check it out to see if it's right, and then he has to move. So when everything is in place, then he can present himself in a way that is his best foot forward. This is okay. This is what I am. This is what I've accomplished, and here we go. And even then, it's not a guarantee that she's actually going to be like, okay, I'm just going to jump. I'm going to jump on board right now. She may just be saying, okay, I respect what you did, or may not even say that, and just you took too long. But that's
Speaking about
no,
that,
yeah.
let me ask. Since you took too long, how long should a woman wait for a man? How long? How long do you think, as a man? Now, listen. I know that we have wasted many women's
He
time,
said he's waited on Beyonce.
right? So I know a lot of us in our young days have wasted many women time, right? Many
Yeah,
women. How long do you think a woman should be waiting for a man to become ready?
it has to be realistic. It has to be a realistic on both sides of the fence. Now, first with the communication, what are you trying to do? Then like that's right off the jump. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish?
That's what she should ask him.
Yeah. What are you trying to accomplish?
Somebody said,
Then
"Baby,
then if it's something small, something like, just say, oh, I'm just trying to get a better job. I'm just trying to get this level. Like, okay, how much what you got to do to it? Let him grind. Now, if he's able to do it in a year or 2 years, oh, okay, cool. Let the man put in the work to actually get to the position he needs. Because the time that he puts in there, the quicker he can get to that position. He may get it sooner than the 2 years. And then now the man's ready. But I also say that, you're not really supposed to wait like over 5 years for a guy to
that,
get his, yeah, because
that's a
that's a
long
long
time."
time. That's a long time. But then you also, on the man side, you got to be honest with her. If it's not going the way it's going, you need to do the respectful thing and let her go. I mean, I did it myself. I mean, I had a woman that I was with, and shit hit the fan, and I wasn't in the position anymore to actually give her the time that she wanted. So I knew this, and I seen where she was going, but I knew that, like, I gotta buckle down, and I gotta grind, I gotta focus, and me doing that is not going to leave room for you.
Mm.
So with with that being said, I had to do the hard thing, and as she says, I gotta let you go. And it is, even though it says it's one of them, it's not you, it's me thing. I explained to her, it's like, yeah, this right here, I have to get back on track. So me getting back on track, meaning I got to work more hours, I got to grind more, so I got to pull sometimes 12 to 18-hour days. I sometimes got to work on the weekend, so I had to do this, I got to go here. Where does that honestly leave you at? And
Mm.
then what's going to end up happening is you're going to get in your feelings because I'm not spending time. I'm not operating in your love center. on how you want to just do your love languages, and you're going to lash out, then it's going to cause you either to step out on me, or is you're going to eventually break up.
Mm.
But if I already told you that from the beginning, then I save you a long-term heartache, even though it may hurt at the beginning, but it's still you. It's one of the things you can't come back and be like, oh, he didn't communicate his feelings to me. He didn't communicate his goals. He left me a choice as either, you know, either I can keep in contact with him or I can cut him off completely. Because there's also the other side is like, well, the you know, you can still be with her and then she could be your support system, and that's true. That's very much true. But then it's like, how long are you willing to be that man's support system, and how long are you willing to take a back seat?
Oh, that's Enrich. I didn't know that was that. Hey, Enrich, I didn't know that was you. Somebody said they like your honesty.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you a question. I know a lot of men. Like I said, I had my past. I had my past. My past
Mhm.
wasn't the most prettiest past. How long? What do you think in a relationship? How long does it take a man to propose to a woman that he actually loves?
Now, I would say I'll give it as like 2 to 3,
Three
2 to 3 years.
years.
Yeah, 2 to 3 years, 2 to 3.
And mhm.
That's after, but I'm also part of the consideration of, do you actually know this person? Have y'all actually had time where y'all y'all in the same space for a good amount of time where she's not covering up the little stuff, like, she's waiting for you to go out to the store to go use the bathroom and all that little dumb stuff and stuff. She leaves the room to pass gas and like oops, like oops. That came from outside. Is like, what I'm saying, is she always trying to sneak and hide like the little toiletries and stuff like that, trying to put on music and something because her stomach is all messed up and stuff, and she blowing up the spot. It's like, do you know her in her element without you?
Mm.
That's it. That's right there too. Is like when the wig is off, the makeup is off, man, and she woke up and looked like she was ran over. Is and vice versa. He may have all the crust in his eyes and chapped ass lips, and his beard looked like Dub C twisted it or something. Just like can you
Somebody,
can
so somebody asking, but what if you have been living together? Should you still wait that long?
now if you're I say this, if you're living together and it's strong and y'all can actually be honest with each other, like a thousand, y'all got to keep it a buck. Then I say I give it a year. I give it a year and a half, type of like that, because also to take this in consideration, women like to be proposed to in a certain way. Not every woman is the same, but if you just want to say a general statement, women like to be proposed to. So you can't really half-ass a proposal.
Mm.
So now, if the man says, okay, he like, yeah, I'm this is my one. I want to propose to her, but I want to get her this engagement ring. And he's like, but you know what? I'm not going to propose until I get the engagement ring. What happens if it takes him almost like 6 months to a year to get the engagement ring? Would that just still be, acceptable or not?
Mm.
Because it's like he wants to propose to you, but he actually wants to respect you enough to actually propose to you. Like, you know what? I'm gonna get this, then I'm gonna get this wedding ring right here, but I want to get this first, so I got to save up for it. And now, is that acceptable?
Mm.
Because sometimes
Okay.
that's still, because sometimes uh with the friends in my that I heard that did proposals, they were that right there was a little bit. like too long. It's like he should have already proposed to me and this, that, and third. But I'm like, they just complaining right now because if you a good man and she a good woman, but you trying to plan stuff, but you trying to keep it as a surprise too. He's not going to tell you everything. He's not going to tell you I'm going to propose to you because that right there just you gonna really be looking at like when he gonna propose to me, when he gonna propose to me. And then even if you say like, oh yeah, you know what, I'm about to get the ring, I'm about to propose to you, you're gonna be looking at him like, nah, that's the weakest proposal thing I heard. That's what you're gonna tell me over it's like some cornflakes. I'm gonna propose to you. Like you gonna say no. You gonna say no, and then you just gonna go about your business, and then you're gonna be looking stupid because he's gonna be like, okay, I guess I'll return the ring. Then it's like, nah, it's you have to give a person the time to actually present it. Because what about the women that like the um that want they like the parents like you got to ask my father type of thing. They're traditional. They like, okay, I want you to like propose in front of my family type of thing. That's the thing that they like. That's how
Right.
they envision being proposed to. So that's a whole nother thing too, because if you waited on the father's best blessing, and then what if the father's like, nah, I don't like you. You a little punk. I don't, nah, you ain't getting my baby. And then because you got a daughter, I got a daughter. I already know the
I
person
got
that
two of them jokers.
yeah, I said I got my baby girl. Was she the middle child? I got my oldest boy, my baby girl, and then my youngest boy. But I already know. I already told him. Baby girl get proposed to. She got to deal with the older brother, the younger brother, and then they gonna bring them to me like Don Corleone and shit, and like, oh, so come in, sit down for a minute. We gonna have to see where your head is at, or depending on how you answer, is either you gonna go out in this barrel or you gonna go out walking under your own, fruition type of thing. But
So somebody asked, somebody said, "Hey, Goddess of Love, how you doing?" Somebody said, "Kirk, you have taught that a man knows within the first 6 months if you were the one. Is this another side of how men deal with women, or should a woman wait?" To be honest, a man knows within the first 6 months to a year if
mhm,
actually we know before. I mean, we know when we want you. We know when you're the one. But sometimes a man feels that he's not ready. He's not at that space. Like he was saying, he feels like he's not at the space yet. He's not at the place. Maybe he wants to give you exactly what he thinks that he should be giving you. He want to get his place right, his home right, his money right, and sometimes that stops him. But a man knows who he wants to be with. Now, let me ask you a question, man, Devontre. Now, I
yeah.
know there's a lot of questions that a lot of social media people say and people speak on these things. And what do you think about? Do you think, like, honestly, now, I know you have a past, I have a past. Do you think
Mhm.
all men cheat? Do you think all men cheat?
Nah, that's bullshit.
You
That's
think that's
bullshit.
BS?
That's bullshit because that's an individual thing. That's not confined to man or woman. A person
Mm,
will cheat if they want to cheat. If they're predisposed to cheating, they will cheat. It has to do with nothing about with gender, because there as many men that are loyal. There's as many women that are loyal as well. It's all dependent on the person, and then it's also with the communication, because if they chose to step out on you, there's a reason. There's always a reason why they stepped out on you, and it's either they was already predisposed to do it, but you never caught the signs early on, or it's something that's lacking that they require, that they're trying to feel somewhere else.
mm.
And it's depending on what that is, but it's always communication, because if they're stepping out on you, then why are they stepping out on you? I mean, you're not supposed to put up with that anyway. But if you trying to
So,
learn, yeah,
should what should she do if she caught him cheating? Like, I know it's hard out there, man. But what would you tell your daughter if your boyfriend, if you caught your boyfriend cheating? What do you do?
yeah. If I caught her boyfriend cheating, let me I had to, I was trying to be politically correct, because I'll be like, hold on, because I'll be like, okay, let's keep it a buck. If I caught the boyfriend cheating, I'll beat his ass. It is what it is. I would. I'll beat his motherfucking ass. I'm like, you cheating
But
on my daughter?
but
But
what would you advise her to do?
what I would advise her to actually do is to actually if you really want this to work, if you really want this to work, you need to figure out the reason why. And you need to have an honest conversation because it's all about the communication. You need to have an honest communication to see if this is the one. Because if he's going to continue to do it, because he ain't really going to tell you the truth anyway. But you have to ask the questions. If this is something that's going to be habitual, and he doesn't show you, because he can say it all day, but I need the actions. You need the actions to back it up. And I would actually tell my daughter, like, hey, listen to what he says very thoroughly. Listen to it and then watch his actions.
Yeah.
But give him enough room to either excel or to fail. Because there's one or two things is either going to happen. Either he's going to become the guy that you actually want, or he's going to recognize and be the person that you don't need whatsoever in your life. And then you can just take that on the chin, get it a learning experience. It's going to hurt, but you actually know the signs to look for in the next. But then you
What
also
are
have,
what are the
yeah,
signs to look for? Let's not. What do you think the signs are? I'm not. Hold on,
yeah,
hold on,
yeah,
because this is about to go deep a little bit. All right. Let
yeah.
me hold on. Let me write the question down because I want to come back to it. Okay.
Okay,
I want
all
to come
right.
back. You know what? Screw it. What do you think are the signs that a woman should look for when it comes? Because we all cheated. I've cheated in my life. I cheated most of my life. Most of my adult life. I've cheated. I ain't gonna
Now,
lie to you. I ain't gonna come on here because I have a platform and say, listen, I haven't. I cheated. I
uh,
cheated my ass off too.
see, now I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Now, me, I didn't cheat. Let's see, I didn't cheat. Now, when I found out my ex girlfriend directly after my ex wife that I was with for 9 years was stepping out on me, I had a get back moment. I did.
Mm,
I had a get back moment, but honestly, I didn't feel that was cheating. I was like, hey, you doing you, so I'm going to do me. I'm like, we not doing this. We not But before then, I'm not a person predisposed to cheating, because
mhm,
once I'm in a relationship, that woman is is my world.
damn.
So so I mean, like, yeah, if we end it, because I'm not just going to do it just because. I mean, I had a dumb moment with my ex-wife, because I actually got with her because of this weird sense of responsibility. Like, okay, we was having our oldest son, and was like, okay, let's make a family. Let's try to make it work. But we didn't know each other, so it was already doomed to fail. But with
Hmm.
my ex, that was immediately afterwards. It was I didn't wait. I didn't go see. I didn't go look at the signs. I didn't. I was blinded by the the attention and the care that I was getting from my ex that I wasn't getting with my ex-wife.
Mm.
So because a void was being filled, I was susceptible to the BS. So I ended up fashioning the cape, and I was Captain Savaho. And I'm like, damn, it's like shit. I mean, I was like, damn, I was walking around like a damn superhero around this motherfucker. I'm like, but I was like, damn.
So, what are the signs that a woman should look for to see if
Okay.
her man is cheating?
Uh, I mean, if oh well, there's always if the schedule. If he always has some type of schedule that just seems off. Like, oh, is he always got something to do. It's like, hey, either I gotta go to my mama house, I gotta go to my brother's house, I gotta go to this house. It's like your time is always occupied. His time is prioritized with something else versus you.
I like that one.
Then then there's you also have to use your discernment on things as well, because it's people's behaviors and their movements that would actually tell you that some a shift is off. And if you just pay attention to them, like they're being a lot more secretive, they're you see them constantly jumpy or something like that, or their attitude, which is a big one, their attitude turns cold towards you.
Mm.
Like when they've been really warm and they've been receptive to you, then all of a sudden you're bothered. It's like, okay, you you always ask me to do stuff, this, that, and the third. Like they always trying to pick a fight for no
Mm.
freaking reason. It's like this, like, and it's over the dumbest. It's always over the dumbest shit. I tell you, it's always over
Justify.
just the fight. Is like so they can just get away, because what they trying to do is they're they're trying to fight with you so they can go see the side piece,
Mm.
because they need a valuable excuse. And if it ain't work, they people's okay, then how they just gonna explain just getting out the house?
Right,
Is
right. Good point.
just so
Good
they
point.
so it's one of those things, and it's like, okay, so but but besides that, it's always situational. It's like, all right, pay attention to your partner, but don't be suffocating as well, because as soon as you realize that uh no, as soon as your partner realizes that you're doing that, they're gonna switch. They're automatically gonna switch up on you. And then as soon as
Wait, say that again. Say that again.
yeah,
Say
they
that
will.
again. Bring
Yeah,
the
they
one
will.
back.
Yeah, as soon as you suffocate them, they're gonna switch it up. And then you're gonna think, oh, okay, maybe I was crazy. Like, nah, you was right, but he caught on to you. And then because he caught on to you, now you got to figure out the new game. And then he's gonna play that new game until we can't play that new game anymore. And then and now he's gonna be paying attention to you.
Why do you think women stay? Why do you think women stay with those the men that continuously do this and over and over? In your
because
own opinion.
because it's a void filler. It's that person, as effed up as they are feeling their need for companionship, their need for a family dynamic, for attention, or even the toxicity that they were used to.
Mm.
Like if they came from an abusive home, an abusive, or like an emotionally or physically abusive home, they may just seek that person out because that's what they're familiar with. Even though they
Mm.
don't like it, they'll like, this reminds me of home. And no matter how toxic your home is, unless you identify it and actually you just purge it out your system, you're gonna you're gonna go to it all the time. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. And for the longest time, I liked crazy hoes. I don't know why. It was crazy. It was crazy ones. It's just like, damn. But then I had to sit back and realize, it's like, you know what? My mama crazy. My my mama crazy, and then it just remind me of home. It's like, oh man, it made me feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
Mm.
Yeah, that's
Damn.
how my mama used to cuss me out. Yeah, she
Damn.
doing the exact same thing, and damn, I
That's
feel
deep.
all good. And then until I actually realized, it's like, boy, take your ass to therapy, because you kind of you off with that. Just take your ass to
So
therapy.
so you went to therapy.
Yeah, I went to therapy. I loved it. Yes, yeah,
Why what did you see in you that needed therapy? I mean, if you don't mind me asking.
yeah. No, what I seen that I had a like I said, I had an affinity for crazy hoes, but it was repetitive.
Mm.
It was repetitive. It's like, no, subconsciously I would seek them out, and I couldn't understand why. And then I went to the therapist, and it says, you know what? I'm aware that I do this, and I'm aware that I have this. this need to be around this type of woman, and I want to do better,
Hmm.
but
That's
I don't
deep.
want to fall back. I don't want to fall back in the same patterns. So I took my butt to therapy, and when we hashed it out, it was the most beautiful thing, because the thing that my therapist did was, one, she dug in my ass. It was like, yeah, you stop being stupid. And then she also identified my triggers. It's like, this is what you're seeking. This is what you're seeking out, because you didn't get this. Now you're seeking that, but you're seeking it in the most toxic way. So it's like, you need to be more in you got to be in love with yourself before you actually try to get and be in love with somebody else. Because
Hmm.
at the I said, for me, at the end of the day, it's my maker, it's myself, it's my kids, and then it's everybody else.
Hmm.
So, but if I'm not right, if I'm not centered, I can't be the best that I can be to another woman. And I won't find the right woman for me if I continue to have this toxic need for the the wrong woman. So so after I went there and identified what was going on, and actually shone a spotlight to it, and a made it a priority to not do it, a priority to be better, not just for myself, but for my future. Then stuff started to change and become more positive, because nobody, no grown man wants to stay complacent. They really don't. They want to grow and be the best version of themselves. They want to give themselves to somebody that can actually understand them.
Hmm.
Like, not everybody going to understand everybody. That you're not supposed to, but they want to find the one that actually understands them and actually accepts them for them. And
What?
that's
Where do you think in that the communication from both genders gets skewed? Like in that, where do you think is a confusion in that? Because you just said every man wants to find a woman that he can give himself to, but why don't that happen these days? Like, what's going on?
because people don't really understand that there's more than one way to communicate, and then there's more than one way to receive.
Hmm.
Because I'm like like they said, if a tree falls in the woods but nobody's around, did it make a sound? Now it's funny, because that answer is, everybody like, oh yeah, yeah, it made a sound. Nah, it's false. It didn't make a sound, because for a sound to be made, there had to be a receiver.
Hmm.
And if nobody's around, and there's no receiver, a tree falls, it didn't make a sound. And the same thing with communication. If what you're trying to communicate falls on deaf ears, it's nothing's going to be accomplished. They're just going to keep on saying it, and it's still, the actions is going to be repeated. So you're going to go in an infinite loop until the person actually receives what you were communicating, but they have to actually be able to receive it. Because if y'all not on the same wavelength, and you can't understand how that person is communicating, then there's always going to be that disconnect. So that's
Yeah.
what's end up going and that's what's going to end up happening. Like, every time, there's always going to be a disconnect if you go to a different person and expect them to communicate like the previous person, or expect them to understand how you're communicating. Because that's just the biggest bullshit ever. is like how the person is going to understand if you don't communicate. This is how I communicate.
Yeah. So somebody asked a question. Somebody said, "What can you do when your man is going through midlife crisis and doing dumb stuff?"
Kick him in his balls. No, I'm just saying. No, I'm just playing. I'm playing. If he if he's going through a midlife crisis, and for one, you got to give him enough rain to just get it out of the system. But
Wait,
if he,
have you been through a midlife crisis?
I don't even know what that
I
is. I don't even know what that is, honestly, my guy. I don't know. I hear it. I hear it. I hear it. But I'm like, I like midlife crisis. I'm like, nah. I don't feel the need to say like, oh damn, man, let me talk to some 18-year-olds. I'm like, what the
wait. Do you like? Do you think having a younger woman is at this age? Do you want a younger woman? And when you say younger, how much younger do you think that you want?
I'm gonna keep, like I said, I'm gonna keep it a band.
Keep
I
it.
I go let's see, the youngest I will go being 46. I can go to mid 30s, like 30, like 35.
Okay.
Anything I can even go down to 30. I can go, that be a little stretch, but anything beyond that, I'm like, nah, you going into my kids' realms. Because like I said, my oldest one is 23. And
Okay.
my youngest one is 14, and my daughter is 17, going in on 18 in the like next year. So it's like, nah, I can't. And then it's also the stupid thing is what do y'all really have in common except for the physical attributes? Now,
But
if
a
yeah,
lot of women is thinking. A lot of women is thinking that we like younger
I
women.
mean, dude, some men
Where's
do.
that coming from?
Because some men actually like younger, some men like younger women. Like my uncle, before he passed, God rest his soul, he had his last wife was, I think, like 25 or 26, and had
And
a
how old
son.
was he?
And shit, he's the oldest brother. I think he was at almost 60 at the time.
Jeez.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I wouldn't personally do that good shit. And I was like, that's you, Unc. I mean, yeah, she bad and all, but she damn near my age at that time.
Speaking of bad, hold on. Speaking of bad, man, listen. I know I'm coming into a whole bunch of. You know what? Let's go back to the question first. Let me, before I go anywhere. What do you do when your husband is going to a midlife crisis? Let's go back to the question.
Okay, what would you do when your husband's in a midlife crisis? One, just let just
It's
let
like
him
him
get
at
it
the
out of his
house.
system.
Somebody
Like
said, "I like him at the house."
I mean, you gotta let him get it out of his system. You have to let him get it out of his system. And but then too, you have to set a parameter and stuff. Is his midlife crisis affecting your household? Is he doing like recklessly dumb shit? Is he like, hey, I just spent the grip because I wanted this car, and he is the detriment to your finances? I don't get me personally. I always had a thing too. Like if you're in a household, I always had my ex-wife. I had this thing where I says, okay, if it's over $500, let me know.
Yeah.
But other than that, I didn't care. But it also had to be some stipulations. I mean, the bills was already paid. It's like, okay, is the bills paid? Was there money already put in there? Was it stuff put aside for whatever emergency? Is the household money, is it there? Once all that stuff is there, then go ahead. I don't care. But then once it gets over that marker, I mean, that starts taking a hit. It's
Yeah.
like you need to have a conversation with me. What kind of dumb shit you doing? What you doing out here? I mean, what you need that costs this much for it? And then, I mean, if he going up there and like, oh, I want this Targon watch and shit, one of them nice expensive
I don't even know
watches.
what that is. I don't even know what that
Oh,
is, man.
it's man, they got these bomb watches, and they sleek, they look good, but some of them watches cost anywhere from like 5,000 to a quarter of a million to even millions more.
Jeez.
They
Mine cost me 10. $10.
I say there's some real, like I said, high fashion in things
Literally
that,
Corvette.
man. But yeah, exactly. But it's but if you're doing dumb stuff like that, then you gotta make sure, do you have the financial control to cut that shit off? Can you, like, hey, now you being stupid, cut it off? Because that's also a question too.
But what
If
if it doesn't cut it off?
No, I mean, does she have it? Can she cut the shit off?
Hmm.
Because
Okay.
I mean, because after that, because you're the adult in the situation now. They're acting like a child. They're
Mm.
doing impulsive stuff that is actually a detriment to the household that y'all built, and you have to protect the finances. So if he don't want to do that, it's up to you to do that, because you got to be thinking about the long run. What's going to happen? What's going to happen then? And then, okay, so what if you just have the woman goes through her thing and she want to splurge? What his reaction gonna be? He gonna end up having his butthole tight, and then he gonna like, nah, you can't do that stuff. No, I'm the man in this. I wear this stuff. It's like, nah, and that's the BS that I'm talking about. But that's also communication. If
Okay.
communicate that you you want to do something, because
I like that,
you
Miranda.
you can, all that spontaneity can, you can that can dissipate. You can just have your moment and let it dissipate, and then it's good. But it says,
Okay.
okay, after you do this, it is back to business. I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear no more about no midlife crisis thing. You got one time to go do
You got one
something.
more time.
Yeah, that's it, and that's
One more
that's it,
time.
and that's
So
it.
I have a couple questions for you, right? Let me go turn my light on because it's getting dark. So here's
Mm,
a question that I have for you.
yeah.
You meet a woman and she's not healed. She's still going through her insecurities and she's been hurt, but she's a good woman. She's a good woman. She's been hurt. You know, she has trust issues. A little insecure. Do you try to have a relationship with her, or do you just tell her, "Hey, not right now"? Hey, Lindley,
Yeah.
or you just, I'm okay.
No, I would say be cautious. I'll say be cautious about the thing, because her trauma is could potentially ruin the relationship, and it depends.
Damn.
Just and then her does her trauma actually, does her trauma consume her? Is If it's all consuming, is she willing to work on it? What is the steps that she's doing to heal herself?
But do
Because
you wait
no,
around? Are you attracted to her?
I mean, you can still be attracted to her, but then you have to actually ask these questions. It's like, okay, I mean, I'm like, yeah, I could say, yeah, I fuck with you. I like you. I like where where you at, where you're maybe where your heads is at, but you need to heal. You need to address these issues, because if you
Hmm.
don't address these issues, then I don't know if I can actually be with you, because of my healthy boundaries, and however way you want to be say that, because it would eventually overflow. Like, what her her trauma is going to end up becoming your trauma, and
Yeah.
then you don't know if her trauma is triggering, and if her trauma triggers maybe your trauma in the past. Now y'all end up in some type of trauma bond, that once one person's healed, the other, they gonna end up leaving, and then you're gonna leave that person on the side of the road, more messed up than what they got into the relationship with.
Hmm.
You got to give a person the space to heal, but you can still be in a person's life. But you're like, hey, you know what? Before I want to step forward, I need you to address these.
Hmm.
I need you to, because I want to be with you, but I can't be with you in the current state that you're in.
Okay. Why? What type of men do you think are drawn to those type of women who are not healed?
Unhealed men.
Hmm.
Unhealed
So
attracts unhealed because it because somewhere in that man's past, whatever that she her trauma is is a trigger for him, and he's gonna be attracted to that. And then being
mm,
that he's attracted to that, that's what's gonna come. He's just gonna add his trauma to her trauma, and then they're just gonna have a whole melting pot of bullshit.
let me let me ask you.
Why would a man project his fairy tale ending more than a woman? That's what Lynn Lee said. Why would a
Mhm.
man project his fairy tale ending more than a woman? Why would he project his fairy tale ending more than a woman? Uh, I'm trying to.
You might have to break down that question a little bit more, Lindley. You might have to get into more
Yeah,
details in that question because I don't think I get it either.
yeah,
Kind of
yeah,
yeah, explain what you need. I mean, what you mean, and he'll reply. Hey, Devontre, let me say
yeah.
this one line, and when I say this line, tell me what you get from it. Okay.
Okay,
Men are intimidated by strong women. What do you get from that?
weak man. I'm like
Do you
you.
think? Hmm.
Yeah, I think that's you. If you're intimidated by a strong woman, that's your intimidation comes from your insecurity or you lacking in an area that she's strong in. So you're lashing you're lashing out at her for being good at what you're not, when that in fact could be to your benefit, because there's every person is not going to be perfect at everything, and you have to be part of a strength of a man is actually to recognize his weaknesses and allowing him to ask for help, or also with his partner allowing them to lead in the certain situations, and it says, okay, I can't, I'm not completely equipped to do this, but that's your area. That's Then let them actually do that. You follow, because you can't be a leader without knowing how to follow. So let them let them take the lead, and you follow them and you learn from them. And if you eventually get it and she wants you to take over, then you can actually take over that part that you were weak on, which is now a strength of yours. Because it's all about the reciprocity of it all.
Do you think men are naturally leaders in a
No,
relationship?
no,
You don't think so?
not. I mean, we are meant to be, but not all men are.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, not let's see, not men, not all men are. I mean, as much as we as much as we may think that we are the leaders, and we King Kunta of this shit, some men ain't even healed enough in themselves to recognize their own weaknesses and their shortcomings. And how you gonna leave when you can't really give an honest evaluation of yourself? You have to be able to logically say, hey, this is my strengths, these are my weaknesses, this is what I'm gonna need to work on, these are my triggers, and this is when I'm doing the work on it. Because one thing I was always thinking of is you can you can have a you can have a logical response to something emotional, but you can never have an emotional response. Well, it's like you can't have uh the opposite. You can't have a logical response when it's or you can't make logic out of emotion,
Mm.
because as if you lead with emotion, then That's all that's gonna come from it. But if you're if you get passionate about something that's it just logical, is it comes with the territory. You can be sad, you can be mad about it, but it was presented to you in a logical way. You can't go the opposite. And that's what a lot of yeah, go ahead. You were saying something?
No, I was gonna ask you, what do you think about this comment right here, the one on
Let
the
me
screen? And hey, listen, by the way, this is not for me to talk. This is for my guest to
mhm.
speak. He's speaking his. This is not me. You I hear me
Yeah,
speak all the time, so I'm not. I ain't really saying much. I'm just enjoying the conversation. I'm
yeah,
listening. I'm getting some information to. All right. So don't expect me to say too much. All right. But go ahead,
yeah.
man.
It's again. I appreciate you for having me on. I mean, like I said, this is a beautiful conversation, and I always love chopping it up with you.
Definitely, man. Same here.
As men believe that there's only one woman that will make him want to force himself to change, while women know that there are multiple men that she would be equally good to.
It's kind of a deep statement, though. I
I
ain't gonna
mean,
lie.
it,
It's
it
kind
is. It is because it's very true. But then what's actually emphasized is forced.
of.
If you have to force, if you have to force a man to change, which first thing that comes to my mind is that he's not willing to change.
Mm,
And if he's forced to do it, then he's going to end up being resentful of it because it wasn't his idea. You held his hand, you gave him an ultimatum: be this or I would leave. Yes, there's multiple options, and you can choose a man that best suits you, which you should do anyway. But if that's the person you want and you have to force him to do something, then it's going to come back and bite you later down the line, because once he opens up that door and she knows that she can do it, she's going to do it on something else. And then now you're going to be thinking for two people instead of just thinking for yourself.
okay.
A man told me recently that women do not sometimes realize how they
The
have.
hold they have on a man. The hold.
Okay, yeah, okay. Really
Hmm.
realize the hold they have on the man. I mean, that's also true, but I also say that's also vice versa as well. Because as much of a hold women have, men have an equal hold on women. Because as we see, uh, a lot of women end up circling back to the same toxicity that they were getting away from because it was familiar. You was comfortable in the cycle of terror and toxicity that you were in. So, oh, that I'm gonna stay a little bit longer. He'll change.
Mm-hmm.
We can work this out. I mean, and even on to the extreme, he only hit me once. I mean, he ain't
Mm-hmm.
gonna do it again, or he only came out of pocket this one time, and then they could even leave. But then, not saying all women do it or it's susceptible to do it, but as human nature, sometimes people just circle the block and go back to the place that was most familiar versus going out on their own, because the fear of being by yourself and actually uh, living for yourself is scary. It's a scary thing because it's new and you may not have done it before. So that by the time you realize it, you're back in the cycle again. Is it going to be hard for me to find a mate at 63? Nah, it's
Now, now, as a man, what do you think? How how difficult do you think at age 63 for a woman? Do you think it's difficult to as looking at it from a man's point of view, from
for,
our point of view?
For from a man's point of view, I'm gonna say I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna take the no stance. I'm gonna say nah. It wouldn't be difficult, but I will also say it would only be difficult depending on your surroundings. Because if you're stuck in the same pond, you're gonna only get the same thing. So something unless your environment changes or you are able to put yourself in something new, then yes, it's going to be hard because you already know what's around you, and if you're looking for something, you're probably more likely going to be looking outwards than somewhere that's in. So yeah, it depends. Location is the biggest thing, and you broadening your horizons to search for something that you may not necessarily look for.
Do you think men are looking for a 63-year-old woman?
Some are. They say some of them like. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, my cousin, my younger cousin, is my younger brother. He's into older women. That's his bag. He loves older women. That's one thing he came back like, hey man, I just got this old one. You know what I'm saying, boys? You be cooking, you be doing. I'm like, okay, man, good for you. Like, man, you got to get you one. You got to get you one of these old ones, man. I'm trying to tell you, boy. They cook clean, they feed you, boy. They treat you right. I'm like, I'm like,
Uh,
I'm like, oh, like, okay, man. But it's like I said, it's very much situational, but it also depends on an honest take with yourself.
you know what I think too, man? I think when it comes to a certain age of woman, I think I really believe when it comes to a certain age of woman, it depends because I think men of different ages value you differently. I think a younger man is not going to value you like how you want to be valued,
Mhm.
and an older man will. Because at a 63-year-old woman, I think a 68, 70-year-old man will value you differently because that's going to be
Yeah,
his young thing. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because, like,
yeah,
that's my young thing. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Hey, she's fine, ain't she? But
yeah.
a 40-year-old man, a 45-year-old man is going to be like, hey, listen, I got all these choices, man. I mean, it's different
Yeah. I
because,
mean,
you know what I'm saying? So I think as you get older as a woman, I think look for that older man because the older man will value you differently than a younger man. The younger man is not going to value you the same. Now, somebody, Lindley asked a question. Um, this right here. Why does the man want to rescue a woman in distress? Try to be her prince charming at first, and then resent helping her. Oh man, this is
that's a nice
deep.
one. That's a
Yeah,
nice.
this is
That's a nice question. I like that. I
that.
like that.
Then
That's a nice
resent helping her or throwing it in her face at least time later time. Go ahead, hit it,
one.
get it,
Nah,
man.
that's very much what we call what it is. That's the Captain Save a Hole complex.
Mm.
Not saying you are or anything else, but that's what that is. He has this thing where he seeks a woman to actually need him,
Thank you,
and then
unique.
and then
Mhm.
buying her need him, she's in his favor. So now she's going to be even more grateful, and she's going to be more open to his bullshit because it's like, hey, you remember what I did? You was on that out there on that corner turning tricks, and I put a Richard Gere on your ass, and now you're a whole damn pretty woman up in his mouth. It's like I did that. I did that. You didn't do that. I did that. And then it'll become resentful when you get to a place where you wanted to be at and you actually start asserting yourself as a more independent person, an independent thinker outside of his thoughts. Now of course he ain't gonna like that because you're thinking for yourself. He came in and he told you, oh, X, Y, and Z. This is what you do, this is what you need to do, and this is what you're going to do to get to where you want to be. But now that you are where you're at, what the hell you doing thinking? You still, I didn't tell you to leave. Hey, I told you to stay exactly here and continue to do what I told you to do. But now you're thinking for yourself. Who told you to think for yourself? Ain't nobody told you to think for yourself. I'm the one that want to continue doing your thinking, but you're not dumb. But I want you to still continue to believe that you're dumb, so I can still exert my control over you.
Hmm, I hear you.
And
Okay.
online, would you recommend online dating? Yeah, I would recommend online dating, but I also will recommend you be careful with online dating and be more uh like, yeah, be more cautious about it. You just don't after every 5 seconds just like, oh, hear my number, call me. Because for one, be more protective of your number and
God
actually
damn.
call them out. But you can actually meet actually dope people from online dating. Even if y'all don't link up, you may actually end up with a new friend or something like that. You may not know. Men like older
Yeah.
women because they can take charge in the life of a man who never went
Woo!
through initial initiation. They're too afraid to leave. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That hit.
That I
That
mean,
hit.
that's that's right. I agree with that. I agree with that statement. Yeah, because it's you. There's no responsibility in that. All the
Hmm.
responsibility is going to be her, and then she would lead. Yeah.
Hmm. Boy, hey, listen. You are bringing these questions. Listen. You are bringing these questions. What if a man is 50 and doesn't have kids, has been
But
engaged but never got married because she cheated? Is that a red flag?
uh, he, I say that that man has trust issues, and his his reluctance to get married is because he been cheated on. So he has to deal with that trigger, being that every time he gets up there to her, he thinking that she's not going to be faithful to him, and being that it sends him in a cycle again. So he breaks it off and gets somebody new because of that. I mean, it's a red flag for you necessarily not to be in that relationship, but it's also if you actually like the person, just to tell them like, hey, this is some stuff you're doing. You gonna need to get yourself fixed.
Do you think it's a red flag for a man to be 50 without kids and never be married?
Nah, because
So
it
50, never had kids, never be married.
not because it always it's what is this? What does it go? Because see, there's okay. What if the person's they one of them workaholics, they one of them professionals, and their goal is to be on top, and they
True.
feel like, nah, this profession is my life, and that's all I want to do. There are people out there like that. Now, are they the best people for relationships? No, because they're not going to prioritize you. They're going to
Hmm.
prioritize their work over you every time.
Hmm.
But that don't mean that's actually like a red flag for you. That means that's just the knowledge that hey, we can be cool, but I can't rock with you on something serious because you're never gonna really take you serious. They're just gonna
So, as a man, and being a man for many years, do you what are the red flags in a man that you stay away from? What do you tell your daughter when she asks, "Dad, what type of man do I stay away from? What is in his energy or what his in actions or behaviors? What do I stay away from just to make sure?" And it's not that everything that you stay away from is bad, because it just can be perceived that way. But what are red flags that you avoid when it like really, really, real red flags as a man? And if you had this, what would you have done?
I would tell my daughter flat out, man, stay away from some ninjas. Stay away from some ninjas. First and foremost, stay away from them. Ninjas and hillbillies, stay away from them. They are not good for you at all. But I would say stay away from the controlling, the 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 ones that are
When you say
constantly
controlling, what do you mean?
okay.
Hey, Miranda, I'm picking you up on that offer too. Okay, good. We good. Miranda, I got you. Go ahead.
All right, now what I mean by controlling, uh, I mean that they always have to make, decide, or they have to be the one doing it like at all times. It's like it's what's my way or no way type of thing. It's you don't have an opinion whatsoever. And yeah, it was one of the things. It's like, yeah, you don't have an opinion. I don't want your opinion. And on the other side, if I need to know where you at and when you at all times. But I was going to also say on the other one is one that's also clingy,
Mm.
excessively clingy. I mean, like controlling, clingy, and uh, one that's goes for that pity party type of stuff. Is like, oh, woe is me all the time. I always um something's always wrong. Something happened every day, no matter what it is. It's like, damn, their cat died, their dog died. They ain't even got no animals in the house, but some always happens. It's one of them things that they can't really emotionally cope with anything. They fall apart at the drop of a dime.
Mm.
It was that maybe it's me, but this time we live and it makes me feel like finding someone with compatibility is impossible. I mean, it's portrayed that way. I mean, I ain't gonna hold you. With the media out here is very much in these social media apps. You're you're spoon fed your entertainment all the time. So it's just because you find it entertaining, that algorithm keeps on putting it in there, but it never really puts something in there of your likes unless you actually put it in there, your positive likes. And you're gonna always get just the superficial stuff. And then it keeps everybody like boxed in because it's like, okay, so honestly, where would you go to meet this person? And then it's the social media app, and then it says, okay, am I in this area? Did I go here? Did I go whatever? Was I out with a group and we end up just meeting somebody in there? Is that's I don't really hear that happening a lot. Where like a group of people went out and they just met up with some random people and something happened. I don't hear that. So yeah, it's a little bit more challenging, but then you have to find an area. You have to, like I said, you have to find an area, the location. You have to be more proactive about what you like in a positive way, and then put yourself in those positions to find the people that you actually want to be compatible with.
Where do you think that you find these men? If you are that good man, where would you be?
Man, like I said, nah, honestly, like my ass is in the house, so I don't really. I'll get my ass out. So
You know what? That's what I hear the most, man. You know, that's what I hear the most. Listen, I'd be at home. But people at home, where do you meet? Everybody stays at home.
yeah,
Like these
because
days, you know, what do you
because see,
like? What do you
see
do?
see me, I like to stay. I like to stay home, but I also I like lounges. I like spoken word events. I I like going to Barnes and Noble and just chilling out at Barnes and Noble. I would grab a coffee, grab a book, and I would sit down there and chill for a minute. And but in my area, there's a very limited uh things where you can just chill at because my city doesn't have lounges. I mean, we got bars, but I mean, if you go to a bar, I mean, I'm just trying to get a drink, and yeah, you may find something for right now, but that's not necessarily something where I say I just go to the bar,
Mm.
and that's the downside about it is a lot of stuff is going online now that the actual interaction between people is kind of is dissipating, and it's like, how can we find that?
Mm.
Many people look for compatibility, but instead
Wait,
need.
don't wait. Hold on. Let me ask you this. I hear a lot of women. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah, yeah.
ask
Go
you.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
But it's fresh in my head. A lot of women says it ain't no men out there. Ain't all the men. You know, ain't that many men. Ain't that many good men. Why do you think they can't find these men? Or why do you think they don't experience these men that they desire? Where are these men at? Is it true that there's only a few good men left, or do you think in your own, because you have male friends, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you have brothers, you have cousins. In your own idea, why can't they connect to those men? Do they have a false sense of who they are, which is the woman? Do they feel like they are something that they are not, or women really can't find decent men? What are
No,
men drawn to that women ain't finding them?
no, like I'll go back. It's all about your, we like to say, location, location, location. If you are sticking around with the same group all the time and you're going to the same places all the time, you're going to find the same thing all the time. Is you gonna have to, if you want to find something different that you're compatible to, you're gonna have to go in those spaces to actually find those good men. And then you got to be real about yourself, about the spaces that you in. Like, okay, so maybe you a goth chick and you like the anime and everything else like that, which I like that stuff myself. But if you keep yourself around like lawyers and doctors all the time, that ain't really what you compatible with. I mean, you can make it work, but this is what you actually like. Go over there, and then the people that's over there, that's your dating pool. You that's what you have to go find. You got to find a guy that likes anime, that's like guys, that's things of that nature that you are attracted to, that you wanna pursue.
What do
But
you
if
think
you
the number one thing that men are drawn to? The number one thing that men are attracted to? The number one thing. Be honest. What do you think the number one thing men are
physicality,
attracted to? Say it again.
physicality, this is
What is
it's
what does that mean? Tell me,
with the,
break it down.
I did,
Teach me.
with the like how attractive is the woman to that man? Very
Hmm.
first thing, because I always say it like this. I don't if you without you opening your mouth and you just on the surface and you ain't got a name tag, you ain't got a resume, you ain't got nothing to go hand them out. You just, who are you? Who are you? What does it look, what do you look like? It's presentation. You have to present yourself in a way to be attracted to the woman that actually wants you. Then she will actually get to know you. But that's with everybody. There's always attraction first, because they have to actually be attracted to you.
So do you think the more attractive a woman is, the more choices that she gets to choose from when it comes to men?
Unfortunately, yeah. It does. Because she'll get more suitors, and then she'll be able to choose. But then on the other end, just because, okay, just saying like, oh, Beyonce, just say, oh, a person that says, oh yeah, oh, I got this Beyonce-ish type of image of a woman that I like, and then that's what they're gonna go try to go navigate to. But another man can walk up there and say, Beyonce ugly. I don't like that. I don't want no Beyonce. I
Yeah.
want this woman. And then that's what it says. You have to find the group of people that actually find you attractive. But you can't keep on just trying to put yourself in a pool, in a dating pool that's negative to you. Put yourself in a situation where the people find you attractive. I mean, it's hard. I mean, I ain't say you could just jump on the site and just find this stuff, but if that's what you want, you need to go seek it, because every man is not attracted to the same thing.
That is true.
Like I said, I love them. I love them thick. I love them thick and juicy and lovely. I love that. I love that. They're just beautiful. They thick and they like scrumptious. I'm like, man, please give me more, Jesus. Give me more. And I'm like, yes, God bless you. God bless your mama and God bless your aunties, because they put that in a pot. You just gorgeous. But that's just
Oh
that's just
Lord.
me. That's just me. But if you actually you hand me trying to hand me a woman that look like olive oil, I'm gonna be like, what I'm gonna do with this spaghetti? I don't want this. I'm like, nah, you better give me five of them,
Ah.
put them together, put them, try to
Somebody
get.
said, somebody said, then why are so many unattractive women with good-looking men? Do you see that?
Who? Oh yeah, yeah. Now I had I had a conversation with this, and the answer was hilarious. Like my sis she actually
Thank you,
said it,
Lily.
and
Hmm.
she said that like the ugly men are get the attractive women because that's the best that they're gonna do. That's the best. They're like, so the woman knows like he gonna be loyal to me because I'm the best that he's gonna get, and so he's gonna be more loyal, and he's gonna always like trying to work towards trying to please her because that's she's his plateau. He don't
Mm.
he don't think he can do anything better. But with with uh with her, he looks better than what he may feel because she's at a certain stature. So in essence, she makes him look better, she makes him feel better, and then she provides him with what she wants. So it's just it's one of them things. It's like, okay, I mean, yeah, I be because when I was younger, I was like, man, how the hell that woman go up there and get this funny looking mother? Hmm. I'm like, you know
Look at
what?
how about this comment right here? I'm 52 and only have one child. In my case, girls only want human dogs and drug dealers. They didn't want nice guys. What do you think about it?
In my case, girls only. I mean, they love the risk. They they love the risk. That's I mean that's you as you as you seen and as you can attest to when we was younger, the just that certain type of the attitude and the bravado that we had attracted those women because it's like, oh, he's a go-getter, he's this, he don't take no ish from nobody, he's just, and that type of toxic masculinity is attractive to women at a young age.
So, what should a man who is a gentleman, a nice man, what does he do to get the woman that he desires?
Stop being a nice man. I ain't
How
gonna.
so?
I mean, because I'm, and I take this back. I'll take this from LL Cool J. It was one of them short clips, and he says there's two. You can be a nice man, or you can be a what is it? You can be a nice guy, or you can be a good guy. See, the nice guy is gonna get walked over all the time. He's gonna get brushed past. Ain't nobody gonna pay him no mind because he's a nice guy. He's always gonna be personable. He's gonna be agreeable and everything else. A good guy, a good guy will slap you in your mouth if you cross him wrong. It don't mean that it don't mean he's a bad person at all, but he has healthy boundaries and he will let you know don't cross him.
Mm,
And it's like, hey,
mm,
this is
interesting.
this is what I do. This is what I am, and they know a good guy
Mm,
would do that. A good guy won't put up with any BS. A nice guy will. So if a nice guy, wants to actually get the girl that he wants, he need to actually start make a hard look at himself and stop being a nice guy and start being a good guy. And it's
that's
like,
deep. I mean, that's very interesting. That's a um. Hold on. That's a very interesting what you just said.
how come the nice guy is attracted to these specific type of girls? He has a pattern over here, and he's the common denominator because he's attracted to the same woman that is a trigger for him. He wants he wants either the ratchet girl or the habitual cheater or the one that stay out because one, either she's pretty, And then he's like, okay, she's a status because of his low self esteem. He's like, I don't think I can do any better. And or just him, just her being with him is a status. So he will continue to take it until he wants to do better. And then as soon as he wants to do better and has more confidence for himself, then he would actually choose different. But some get caught in that same cycle and just get complacent. They just get complacent in life, and they're like, well, this is the best I'm gonna do, so it is what it is. I'm gonna flip
Mhm.
burgers for the rest of my life, and then at least I got her, until she leave.
So let me ask you this. Listen, we have been on here for an hour and 40 minutes, and I can't keep you, and I have to do some of the stuff. Let me ask you this question, man.
Yeah.
Um, I've heard many times that we don't, us, me, you, the grays, the salt and pepper ones.
Mm-hmm.
What legacy do we leave to the younger men, the 25-year-olds and 30-year-olds? What do we tell them? What do we teach them? What advice do you give to that 25, 30-year-old man when it comes to dating relationships and women? What is it that if you had their power to teach? Because I think I want to switch my mentorship to men. I think it's
Yeah.
time that I switch my mentorship to men because
That'd be
I
good.
had a talk. Yeah, I had a talk with a young man the other day in the gym, and it was in the
Yeah.
gym, man. We in the gym, and I realized that he took his phone out and he's taking notes on his phone about what I'm saying when it comes to finances and stuff. And I was like, wait, hold on. Men really don't. We're not taught anything these days. It seems like our fathers, a lot of us, our fathers ain't there, and then we go in relationships and we completely lost, we're completely confused, we are completely messing up, we completely effing it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
in that situation, I realized, oh shoot, this guy really don't know. This guy need help. What advice are we giving these young men? If you had the power and the respect, what would you tell a 25, 30-year-old man when it comes to relationships, dating, and all those stuff?
Wh- It's hard to summarize just in just
Right.
one thing, but in just to start out the conversation when I might say, okay, you have to be honest with yourself.
Hmm.
What do you want out of this? And then after you are honest with yourself, then actually be honest with the person that you want to be with. There's woman, man, whatever. You have to be honest with the person that you are pursuing or you're interested in. That right there will set the groundwork for anything to come. Because if you can't communicate your honesty in a way that yeah, if you can't communicate your honesty in a way that's received by the person you're interested in, you're gonna fail every time. So I tell them at first that is honesty is always the foundation to everything. Now you go beyond that, yeah, like a lot of a lot of young men aren't taught the
Thank you, Miranda.
the etiquette. We don't have any type of gentlemanly etiquette anymore. I mean, if it really wasn't shown by our parents or our grandparents, it's not really being passed on. Like the younger men have to be held to a standard to so when they have their kids that they can continue that tradition and holding them to a standard because we're losing our grandpas, our big mamas in that knowledge and that well and that wealth of knowledge that could actually help us in the that can help us, it can help us in the end. We need to know how to, conduct ourselves in a way, but we need to do it like, one group at a time. And if we can, ideally, if the black men could actually get on an accord and says this is the standard that we're holding our people to, then we can actually make a positive change instead of this endless cycle of, you know being proverbial jigaboos for somebody else to sing and dance and act like you know monkeys for their entertainment type of thing, because we live in this society where we're more the entertainers for other cultures.
Mm.
But when stuff actually happens to us, there's nobody that actually will back us. It's basically like shut up and keep dancing. And it's been
Yeah.
going on and on and on. And it's just been suppressed even more because we need a standard. There shouldn't be a time where like hey, this stuff is happening that if you see it, some men don't step in. Like, hey, this we don't do this here. You don't do that. You don't put your hands on a woman like that. You don't say that. Watch your mouth.
So
Without
we
their
should be so we should be holding them men to that standard, huh?
Yeah, we need to hold them accountable. We need to have a standard. There's almost every other culture.
Why am I getting emotional listening to you talk, man? See, all joke
Yeah,
aside,
yeah,
I realized lately I've been getting emotional. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. But you speaking that making me just feel a little emotional. So go ahead, continue, man.
yeah, yeah. Because we literally have to hold our young men accountable for the actions that they do. But then we also first have to hold ourselves and for our brethren to be held accountable for the actions that they do. We can't teach the youth without being taught first.
Mm,
Let us be up there, be the example. Let us be the men that they can look up to, because they don't really look up to us like that anymore. They actually they actually say like you don't really know what you're talking about. They ain't the There's no reverence and no respect for the elder generation. There's I can do this better than you. I know more than you. And their knowledge thinks it equates to experience. And it doesn't matter if you know all the things. If you haven't experienced life, you don't know shit.
mm,
But if you're not willing to open up and actually like, hey, this is some bullshit. Y'all need to stop doing this without there being some type of repercussion and some type of outward violence or persecution. The cycle gonna keep on continue. We need to do better so they can do better so the next generation can do better. We have the control to do it. We literally we control the narrative on this freaking planet, but we are being controlled by our emotions, which
mm,
again, we're trying to make logic out of an emotional response, and we can't do it. We can be emotional about a logical response, but it gets lost in translation. That's why we need our elders to actually translate that stuff to it, because like emotional intelligence is a foreign language to a lot of our youth.
mm,
They just because they think that just regurgitating a book makes them smart and experienced. But as soon as they go apply for an application, what happens? What they say? What experience do you have? Give me 2 or 3 years experience of you applying the knowledge that you have. They won't even let you step up to the plate. But if you have people there to actually like, hey,
Let me learn you. It's just that I'm not trying to live your life. I'm just trying to give you guidelines to live your life so you can do better. Because guess what? What you do may be better than what I did, but it made you think. It made you think, made you evaluate, and now you can proceed in a logical way. Now, when your emotional responses come, they're based in logic.
Let
And
me, let me
yeah,
ask you this: how about women who have sons but have no fathers for their sons? What? And these boys, I have a son. You have sons.
yeah,
And we know little boys are different from little girls. You know, them
yeah.
jokers' head it's tough.
It's
Their head is
hard headed.
don't listen. They're just ridiculous. They're nasty. They're little dirty little deeper people. What do you what do you recommend these women who raising these sons? What do they do? Because raising a boy is a little different.
It is. It is. And unfortunately, there's a lot of women, more than enough, that are raising men alone,
Mm.
and it's heartbreaking because at the end of the day, you can raise a good man. A woman can raise a good man, but she can never raise a great man because he needs that male input. He needs a solid figure in his life that actually will hold him accountable. Because a mother
But
can do it, but that solid male figure in there, it hits different
but
because
where
of
does she find that male figure?
now if you're blessed enough, if you're not saying everybody is, but if you're blessed enough, look to let's see, look to your family. Look to let's see if it's a grandfather, a brother that you got that actually has sense, an uncle, even a cousin or something that you close to that actually has sense. Have them actually just reach out and say, "Hey, can you talk to him for a minute? He needs the he needs that one on one. He needs that mentorship because that's what young boys actually need. They need a man, which is yeah, you say mentor men. You need a man in there to actually mentor him on life because it's like because we have the same body parts. We go to the same thing. We know what it is to wake up and feel a certain type of way to whatever certain degrees. You can relate to another man in a way that you will never be able to relate to a woman. But the nurturer of the woman and like that, she can help you along with that, but then she can only do it so far. Now, if you blessed with the child that has actually uh was receptive and became emotionally intelligent to an extreme to actually know like, hey, I'm going to be a good dude, I'm going to be a good guy, then yes, you did a excellent job, and I applaud all y'all out here that actually are doing that because that's is tough. That is tough because you're being two people in one, and it is time consuming and it is actually draining for you to do that. And yeah, you deserve all your flowers. If you ain't hear from nobody else, you are loved, you are respected. But then it comes to a point where you actually need that male in your life that is going to be a positive mentor to you, that somebody that you can call, somebody you can reach out to when you have a question that is concerning for you on a male perspective. And it don't matter if you're straight, if you're gay, or if you're non-binary, or whatever, you still need somebody that can relate to you on that level. Because if you don't have it, then you're going to end up wilding out and finding stuff out the hard way. And sometimes people is hard headed and they need to learn the hard way. But if they don't have to, and you can actually steer them, it's your responsibility as a human, as a man, to do so. And that's
Mm.
what's missing a lot in our society right now. They want to brush it past and be like, it's somebody else's responsibility. Stop brushing that kid past and say it's somebody else's. Make that stuff like a priority to you. It don't matter. You could say one thing to that person to change their life.
Mm.
Then say it.
Because boys do. I see how my son react to me and how he react to his mother. It's completely different, man. It's completely
Look,
different.
hold on.
Mhm.
I gotta close the window. A skunk just went past my window.
But yeah, there's a big difference in how boys react to their mothers as they do their fathers or the male figure. And I think, as Devendra said, I think it's very important that you find a male, find a man, find a man that you, and don't find a raggedy ass dude who's a bad example either. You know, and you know, I think this is why it's very important that if you're gonna have a man in your life, have a man that your son could be like. You know, like don't have a man in your house and you don't want your son to be like him. You know, don't have kids with a man that you don't want your kids to be like, your son to be like. Because I think that man that you bring life in this world with should be a damn example. And I think this is why, man, this is why this topic is very harsh. It sounds terrible. And you know, I think this is why you have to vet that man before you bring a child with this man, because sometimes, man, that that's tough. I mean, and I know a lot of women are stressed out because you're raising a boy by yourself, and you really, when the boy hit puberty, shit, like Lord,
Mm-hmm.
that boy gets retarded, like completely ridiculous. And what do? I mean, don't get me wrong, some boys are, you know, are better than, but that's why you got to be careful about who. Man, listen, man, the person that you lay down with, you got to be careful, man. Like you got to be careful. You got to teach your daughters. You got to teach your sons. Be careful, you know, because I think now we're having a bunch of children, man, and the fathers are, I don't know where they are. And I don't understand why you bring a seed to this world and don't nourish your seed, but it happens, right? So we're not going to ask why and get into all that conversation,
Mm-hmm.
but it happens. But if you on that boat, man, find you a decent guy in the church, a friend of yours. You know, you have to have friends. You have to have male friends. You know, it doesn't have to be somebody that you sleeping with. It doesn't have to be somebody that you are married to. But find you, if you don't have anybody in your life, find that decent male friend. You know, find that person that you know is a quality type of man. Find that decent brother, and hey, you want to come to the house? Like you're gonna have to be uncomfortable for. Wait, won't you come to the house? You know, and have your son
Mm-hmm.
there. Hey, why don't you come to the house just to talk? This is not a relationship. This is just a friendship. But my son needs to see somebody. My son needs to see
Mm-hmm.
some male. You know, when I grew up, my mom didn't have no man in the house, and I completely got messed up. I had never seen a man interacting with my mother, with a woman. So when I became a man, I was like, yeah, come effed it up, man, screw it up, and you know, I messed up so much of a young lady's life. When I tell you, man, I screwed up so many women's life because I had no idea what a man was, man. See, we assume that we know what a man is. We don't know. We're just going by what we think he doing. It's like going to the gym, right? It's like going to the gym and you don't know what to do, and you see somebody doing some curls, and you're like, let me try this curls, right? And that's what being a man is these days. You see these dudes do this thing, and you try it too. You just you try it, but it doesn't work. He notices that your treatment, tone, facial expression, and what intention once a week, you do something for him that the girls don't get. Yeah. Definitely, definitely. But we need to. I mean, I will tell you as a single woman, have a male, man. Bring somebody to the house, like bring somebody over, talk to somebody. Hey, talk to my son for a second. Hey, why don't you talk to my son? Hey, little Jimmy, this is Devontre. Hey,
Yeah.
Devontre is gonna step in because he knows his, hey, listen, man, listen, how you doing, little man? And just talk, just a conversation. These little boys will open up to a man.
Mm-hmm.
They really will. They
And
really will.
that's
We have some little leaders in our communities. Yeah.
yeah, and that's what is and see, and that's one thing that where it's all about too is being a positive influence uh to that boy is also being a positive influence to the community in general.
Mm.
Because if you're rooted into that community, you plan on staying there for a while or even for some time. Just it's too easy to like just volunteer and just volunteer your time when you have time to make it a priority to help out. Just like you said, just be that positive influence because they'll will look up to you like, you know what? I remember Kurt. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
doing the workout, but he wasn't just working out. I mean, he dropped knowledge on me. It's like,
Mm.
okay, I dig that. He did that, and I see how where his mind is at and the positivity and his focus. I like that. I can do that. I can
Mm.
go on and I can be uh a person that good, or I could be better.
True.
And that's one of that's the beautiful, and that is the very beautiful thing about just that, just your presence alone. I know that it gets overlooked because sometimes we are caught in this instant gratification, and it's like, I want to hear thank you. Sometimes things like this is a thankless job. You're
Mm-hmm.
not there to get accolades. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
nice to get recognition, but your whole purpose is the betterment of that child or them kids,
Yeah.
because you never know. You never know what situation they going through, what a kind word would do, and everything else. It's just like, hey, I understand. I was there. I was your age. I had these feelings, these emotions, and I've been through this. Somebody will connect to you.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
they're like,
man.
okay, cool. And then you'll get you'll get the ball rolling, and who knows, that same kid may do the exact same thing that you doing and says, you know what? I get it. He did that for me. I'm gonna do that for them. And
Yeah.
then, it may
That
just be
is
a
true.
mentor to
Pay
somebody
forward.
younger. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Pay
Exactly.
forward. You're right, man. Listen, listen, man. Listen, it's been 2 hours. Listen, I
Yeah.
thank you for coming up here. I thank you. I thank you. Saint is thanking you right now.
I
I appreciate you
appreciate you,
coming up
bro.
here, man. I appreciate the conversations. I appreciate the openness, the transparency, because I think we need this type of communication. And you know what I was thinking when we were talking? Let me tell you what I was thinking. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting sensitive lately. These days. I don't know. As I get older, I'm getting more soft. I don't know what it is.
It ain't soft. Say that's one thing right there. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you right now. Don't ever call yourself soft by actually just feeling. Don't do that. Don't
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
do
yeah.
that.
True, true, true. Um, to to be able to have a dialogue like this without bashing anybody, without
Yeah.
bashing any genders, without bashing anybody's race, without bashing anybody, I think it takes intellect and it takes intelligence. So I appreciate you coming up here and just speaking. And of course, everything that we say, everybody's not going to agree with because we all have our
Yeah.
own,
Yeah.
ideas and perception. But I appreciate you, man. You're my first guest.
Hey.
Next week, I want to bring this beautiful lady in the chat. And hey, Miranda, when we meet again, let me know when you're gonna do this because I think you have some very distinctive kind of information. But it's gonna be Coach Enrich, this person right here. This person
Yeah.
right here, she's a coach. She's been a coach for a while, She is very credentialed. She's
Hey,
experienced, she's experienced her own stuff, her own struggle, her own suffering, her own abuse, her own life, and
yeah, I
now
gotta
she's in
go.
the path of pure growth. Hmm?
And that's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. And like I
Yeah,
said again, I appreciate you for allowing me to come up here and ask you the opportunity to be, let's say, your first guest here. I'm always honored. Bro. If ain't nobody said, hey, I ain't got nothing but love for you. I
same
look
here,
up to
man.
you like a big bro. You got hey. So whenever you need me, man, I got you.
I appreciate you, man. I definitely appreciate that. I'm honored, man. And actually, you were the first male that I thought about. I know a lot of men,
Yeah,
but I don't really like. I want to bring certain energies.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Even though I'm a man and they're a man,
yeah,
I don't want to
yeah,
bring certain type of information or certain type of
yeah,
judgment or disrespect to my platform because I think,
yeah.
you just can't do that. So I do appreciate you. Yes, Miranda, can you send me an email? My email, just put it in my email. Is Kirk at Conscious Reality. And so my next one is gonna be that store. That's my email address right here. My next one is gonna be enrich. Like I said, she's a coach. She's a woman's. She does a
Yeah.
whole lot of stuff. Listen. I'm not even gonna say what she does because I can't tell you what she does. But when you come next week
Yeah.
Friday, let's. A matter of fact, I want to make this a Friday evening experience. Every
Okay.
Friday, this time, I want to be with somebody speaking some knowledge. All right.
That's beautiful.
Um, Devantry, can you tell them again? Because some people missed what you did or what you are bringing out
All right.
soon.
Now, what I'm doing, I'm having later on this month, I'm having my debut ebook, my digital poetry book, the Ebb Epic, a prelude to a gentle breeze. I am a spoken word artist. You can find me on IG at D_VON_TRE. And you can find me on TikTok. It's Devontre, as it's spelled here, 3.0. And yes, I have pieces on my IG. I have pieces on the TikTok that I put on, and I go from all type of ranges, from the introspective, spiritual, to even the erotic pieces. So I give it all to, was being fair warned. I mean, my erotic pieces, they go left. So I let you know. And my and this one, this prelude is is basically a sample of the book that I would be dropping in maybe a year or more. I gotta is basically, I'm making an art piece out of every aspect that I do: photography, the graphic design, my artwork on the comic strip side, and I'm putting it all together and presenting it as a complete artistic package. So this one right here is a 25 pieces, the ebook, and it's got some at least 10 pieces that are very erotic and very suggestive. So hope
Okay.
y'all.
Okay, I see you. I see you. So, okay, good man. I appreciate that. This is the artiste. Someone asked if I'm on any other platform, social media. I am on Facebook as Kirk Hazel. That's my name, Kirk Hazel. I think you could put in conscious Kirk Hazel. And I'm on TikTok as the Black Monk, the Black Monk. And I'm on an IG as conscious reality. So it's mostly conscious. Um, yeah, this type of interactions is what I need for my. I think we're gonna start bringing people up. We're gonna start doing these type because this opens you up to many different people. Or somebody might even want your service. Somebody might want advice. Somebody might want you to say, "Hey, talk to my son." So I think this is very needed in our community, man. And again, this is not to disrespect nobody. Miranda, I didn't see your number. I didn't see a number. I don't. I didn't see it. Can you like? Oh, I didn't see it. Maybe the the thing blocked it or something, but I didn't see it. But definitely, I thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for all the questions. Listen, you did awesome answering those questions, man. Because some of them questions I
Man.
didn't know what to do.
And I got. I said, hey, like we said from the beginning, with it, you lead, I follow. You just, hey, let's we got it, and we got through it, and it was beautiful. I like it. I like this platform. I see it growing like everything else that you do, and it's gonna be something. I can
Appreciate it, man.
I can see this very got a very podcast feel to it. It's like it's very steps. I'm seeing it.
Hey, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm definitely trying. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it, but we're gonna do it together. You know what I mean? We're gonna do it
Yeah.
together. So I do appreciate it. Hey, thank you guys for showing up. We're gonna do this again next week, Friday, same time. We're gonna do it, me and Rich, and I'm gonna see when Miranda is going to be available so we can have some discussions, man. Whether it's spiritual, I want to have some spiritual, some intellectual, some gender, some just a whole bunch of nothing specific, just open to everything. So I appreciate you, man,
I
Devantry. You're the
appreciate you.
man.
No, that's you, bro. I always appreciate you. And like I said, anytime, and I can't wait till next Friday to peek on. Let's see, to peek on in and be in the comments. And again,
Appreciate it,
follow
man.
me on the YouTube, IG, and TikTok. And yeah, if anything else, just you can message me on YouTube if you ain't on the other side, and I'll type it out for you to follow.
Definitely, man. All right, man. Hey, well, you take care,
Hey,
man. I see you
you
guys. I
too.
see you next time. All right,
All
man.
right
You
now.
all, thank you for coming. I'll see you guys next time.
All right now.
Peace.
Enjoy.